In today's video, we will be going over the new Umarex Avera. It is their new competition style CO2 powered pellet pistol that's semi-automatic. Here is the box, the front, and the back. Right here it states 177 caliber, velocity 380 feet per second, foot-pounds 2.37, fixed sights, front, adjustable rear, push-button safety, rifled barrel, a weight of 1.144 pounds, length of 12.75 inches. Let's go ahead and get her open. We have, looks like our instruction packet. We have a plastic bag here with 2 additional rotary clips. Again, 8 rounds, 2 additional tools, which look like they are for screwing in the CO2 cartridge and keeping the bottom grip on. So that means that you have 3 of them. I guess they assume that people are going to lose them. There's also an additional barrel seal and 2 small O-rings, which I don't know what those are for. But onto the pistol. Here it is. Yes, it is a fairly large pistol, long barrel. We have top and bottom Picatinny rails, fixed bladed front sight, which is molded into the plastic. The rear is adjustable, and man, out of the box, look at that rear sight all the way over to the left. I hope that's not an issue with this pistol. Slide this forward, pull out the clip, place that back. Grip feels really good. Check out that trigger pull. Really notchy, not smooth at all. I guess that'll smooth out some with shooting it. Really large trigger guard. This front looks like a muzzle brake is fake. As you can see, the barrel is actually lower in this housing. So that's pretty much just for looks. But let's get to some specs. The barrel length is 7 5/8 inch, and the trigger pull breaks at 7 pounds, 7.3 ounces. Yes, that is very heavy for a competition style pistol trigger pull. That is really notchy, and yes, it is very, very, very heavy, especially towards the end, right there. Man, right before it breaks. That's horrible. But again, it's new. Maybe it'll break in some as we shoot it. Next up, let's test that velocity. We use the opposite end of this screw to tighten the piercing lever. As such. The clips are loaded with the ratcheting teeth or indexing teeth pointed upward or facing upward. I'm using RWS R10 match, which is a 7-grain pellet for the velocity test. They will also be used for the accuracy test. The pistol is now loaded and ready to go. Here comes the first 5 shots from the pistol. And unfortunately, nowhere near that claimed 380 feet per second. That could possibly be using alloy pellets, but with lead pellets, you can see what we got here on this 80-degree day. Here you can see the Avera completely disassembled. I want to go over a few things. First, I want to state that disassembling this pistol is really not necessary. The only reason I would see you disassembling this pistol is maybe to do a paint job and not have to worry about, getting the trigger, paint on the trigger or paint on the clip release. But really disassembling this pistol is totally unnecessary. I did it to see if there was anything I could do to get a little bit more feet per second or oomph out of the pistol. And here's the valve, completely disassembled. This is the piercing for the CO2 cartridge. This is the top half, the outer portion of the valve. This is the valve stem, and this is the seal. And what I found out is there is nothing really you can do as far as valve wise to get anything else out of this pistol from what I can see. I mean, really, if you had the right machinery to do it, you may be able to bring that inside of this out a little bit more, but you're really taking a chance in doing that on this sealing. So yeah, it's really not worth it. But to go over a few things, if you do decide to take this pistol apart, there's one area of concern or area you want to look out for, and that is the trigger, the safety for the trigger. And here's the safety. Here's the trigger spring, and here's the ball detent for the safety. If you do decide to take this apart, be careful, because once you remove this trigger spring actually does two things. Of course, it returns the trigger, but it also gives tension to the detent, this ball detent, to keep the safety in place. So just keep that in mind if you do decide to take this apart. If you remove the spring or release tension on this spring, this safety button is going to come out and this ball is going to come out. You're more than likely, you will find this, but more than likely, you will probably lose that. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, everything else from what I can see is pretty much straightforward. As another viewer has stated, I can't remember his name, ZMJ or something like that. This is a cheap pistol. And really what you're paying for when you purchase this pistol is this right here, the barrel. This is basically what you're paying for. And as you can see, the barrel is really thick through this area here. And I'm thinking they did that to basically give this pistol some weight, because this is really the only weight in the pistol. Everything else weighs nothing. So that's it. Uh, this is it disassembled. Nothing to it. Cheap valve, cheap pistol. You're basically paying for the barrel. But I just wanted to go over that with you. And this pistol completely disassembled. It is really simple. Of course, you take out all the screws. There's a pin holding this on. There's another pin for the hammer and spring. And other than that, you know, it comes right apart. But other than that, that's it. So let's move on. Before I do the accuracy test on this pistol, I'm not really happy with the way this rear sight is canted all the way to the, shifted all the way over to the left. So I'm gonna go ahead and, there's an Allen here, and this rear sight is only adjustable for windage, not elevation. I'll go ahead and loosen up this rear Allen screw. You know what, as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and take that Allen screw all the way out. Or attempt to take this Allen screw all the way out. Come on. There we go. And the reason why I'm taking this Allen screw all the way out is because I want to see if, first off, if it was initially placed all the way in this position, or if it accidentally got shifted during shipment to that position. So I'm going to go ahead and drift this all the way out. And it looks to me like it accidentally got moved over during shipment, because, don't want to lose that. You can see where it was initially placed in this indentation here, and you can see how the plastic is gouged where it was moved. So something must have hit this to move that over. So now that I have this out, I can go ahead and place this back in here into the dovetail. And then next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a flashlight. All right, even though it's really bright out here, I'm going to get a flashlight and shine it down in there and see if that's where I see the original indentation right there. Let's turn that off. Now I can put my set screw back in. And that should be where it came from, the factory setting. Let's try that again. Still have movement a little bit. And that's it, it's solid. Now I can do a 10-yard accuracy test. Target is downrange at 10 yards. I'm going to do 5 shots. Let's go have a look. And there are all of my 5 shots. The pistol seems to be shooting, or this pistol seems to be shooting way right. So I do have to move the rear sight over to the left, but that should be an easy fix. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and get another target. I'm going to zero this pistol, and then I'm going to do another 5-shot group. I have made some adjustments to the rear sight. I'm going to do another 10-yard group, 5 shots. And let's go take a look at that group. As you can see, that group is much better than my first group that I fired. I will say that that is a very accurate pistol for 50 bucks. Extremely accurate. Let's see how it will do at 20 yards. Let's go take a look at that group. And that's 20 yards, open sights, and I would say it's a little to the left, but it is a little breezy out here, as you can see. So I will take that, a little bit of that into account. But at 20 yards, that is a damn good group for a $50 pellet pistol. And at 10 yards, absolutely excellent. Quite surprised and happy with those results. But trigger still sucks. If this thing had a better trigger, or you had the possibility of putting it into semi-auto, single action, then those groups, I think, would get smaller. Well, what do I think of the Umarex Avera? I think it's awesome. I personally think that Umarex has a winner on their hands, especially for what you're getting for 50 bucks. I mean, look at that group at 10 yards and look at that group at 20 yards, and that's with open sights and me shooting it. So your results will more than likely be better. It's great they give you, to go over some positives about this pistol. Feels good in the hand, looks good. Top and bottom Picatinny rails, easy to replace clips. They give you additional, and they give you three. It comes with 3 clips. They give you 2 additional keepers or screws. They give you an additional barrel seal. These are all things you're getting for the $50 right out the box. The sights are clean and crisp, and it's for $50. It's pretty solid polymer, so you can't really beat it. Now, for some negatives, start off the bat, it is supposed to be a cheap competition pistol, and you really feel the cheapness come in when it comes to the trigger pull. Trigger pull absolutely sucks. It's horrible. But I will say it has gotten a slightly smoother since I've been shooting it, but it still sucks. Still a little too heavy. The muzzle brake here, again, it looks cool, but unfortunately, barrel's down here, so it's fake. You do not have adjustment for elevation. They get a negative on that. It sucks. But again, still, that group at 10 yards, I'm not going to complain about that at all. That group at 20 yards, again, open sights. Still, you know, for 20 yards, both here, the 10 yard, the front sight here, 20 yard, the front sight there. And look at those groups. Can't complain at all. But again, I still give it a negative for not having elevation. It does not have the ability to do a single action. I give it a negative on that, and that would kind of offset the fact of the trigger being some crap. But again, that it is what it is. Negatives and positives. The positive does have additional clips. It is just a piece of plastic, but the clips are really horrible when it comes to keeping the pellets in place. So I would highly recommend using some type of tool. Put the pellets in, pressing them down on a flat surface. That will help keep them in, but these are not clips you're putting in your pocket and walking around with. The pellets are going to fall out. So just keep that in mind. As far as negatives, that's pretty much about it. So I want to state that this concludes the first half of the video. And now we will get on to the second part of the video. And that is, this pistol is a copycat of another pistol. And that pistol is this pistol here. A lot of you already out there know this. As you can see, what this pistol is the Baykal MP651. It is a BB and pellet shooter. Again, they're almost exactly identical. This has the same type of cover that comes off, but it comes off with this screw here. Again, CO2 is pierced with this one here. Same lever here to remove the clip, like such. Same type of similar trigger, safety. But the trigger on this is buttery smooth. Buttery smooth, it's beautiful. Also, this has the ability to do single action, where the Umarex does not. This also comes with a BB clip, and you can load your 8 BBs in here, fill this up with BBs, and as you fire, deplete the 8 BBs in the clip, it replenishes them from this top magazine, internal magazine. This pistol also has adjustable sights for windage on the back screw and elevation, unlike the the Umarex. And this pistol is made of a cast type of metal, so the only thing that's really plastic on it is the clip, this little follower here, and the grip. Everything else is metal. So this pistol is a much better pistol in terms of quality, feel, and trigger pull over the Umarex. But this pistol is discontinued and no longer available. But my personal opinion, it's a gem. Now, I want to state to the executives at Umarex, or whoever brought this out, decided to make this pistol, I love you and I thank you. And I'll tell you why. Because of these clips here. Now, when I purchased this pistol, it only came with the BB clip. I did not have a pellet clip. As a matter of fact, I did not have a pellet clip for this pistol until 2 days ago when I received this pistol. Yes, these clips, surprisingly, the Umarex Avera clips will work in the Baykal MP651. Little knowledge for you guys out there. Some of you guys probably already knew that, but it was a surprise for me, and I was so happy when Umarex brought this out, and I looked at the clips, and they were almost identical. Now, I'm going to tell you that these clips will not drop in to this pistol. You have to modify these clips, and I'm going to show you that this is, if I can get this out, okay, this is an Umarex Avera clip, as you can see. But I doubt I can get that on film, but it's a little bit thinner because here's the Umarex Avera clip. It's too big, it's too wide, it will not fit. So what you have to do is, and I don't have my little measuring tool out here, but if anyone wants to know, I can give you the information. You have to sand these down. Of course, you have to sand them down evenly. And you want to sand them down not on this side, but you want to sand them down on this side where the indexing tabs are. And you want to sand this down till it fits, or it's the same width of the BB clip if you have one, or the pellet clip if you have one. Then once you sand it down, these little stop tabs in here, you have to bring those out a little bit because the stop on this one is wider than the one on this one. So, but once you do that, you have additional clips for your Baykal MP651. And I didn't have one, but as you can see, it works beautifully. So thank you, Umarex, for bringing these clips out, because these pellet clips for this pistol is non-existent, or I haven't been able to find any, and I've been looking for a while. But now that Umarex has the Aera, you know, once they have the additional clips, I'm going to buy some. I'm going to convert them over to be able to fit this pistol. Next up, also, we're going to do some shooting with this pistol. And this pistol is brought to you by Umarex USA, Recover Tactical, and CV Life. And this is my modified pistol. Yes. And I surprisingly was able to do some work to it to get the velocity up. I'll let you guys figure out how I did that, but it's there. And this pistol has a much smoother, or slightly smoother pull than the factory Avera. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do some target shooting with this pistol here, and then we'll call it a day. Ah, you're beautiful. Next up, I'm going to do some shooting with this pistol. Got 3 targets down range from the cone. The first target is at 20 yards. Second target is 25 yards. Third target is at 30 yards. And the cans are at 10 yards. Got some extra clips on the table. I'm going to see if I can take out the cans and then put some hits on the targets down range. And of course, this is a cold drill. So let's see how this goes. Ah, shit. It's one. Oh. That's two. Getting a lot of misfires for some reason. Let's go see if I hit any of those targets. I did get all the cans. All right, first up is the 20-yard target. Got two there. The 25-yard target. Oh, man. I only got one. It's off the paper. And the 30-yard target. I fired two shots. I got two shots there. So, you know, for me doing my first time actually doing an action type shooting at 30 yards with this pistol, with that trigger pull, I'll take it. At least I'm in the black on the paper. And that, my friends, is the Umarex Avera. And that concludes today's shooting test and information about this pistol. Hopefully you got a lot of information from this video. I appreciate you watching, and until next time. Well, I thought that was going to be the end of the video, but I felt like I needed to redo that shooting test because it was horrible. And my trigger was horrible. It was misfiring. I didn't know why. Well, I painted this, and I did not take into account the thickness of the paint inside of this little area here. That was one. Two, the thickness of the paint inside of the trigger area. And three, when you do push those pellets into the clips, take your thumbs and back them, push them back in just a slight bit. And now, having taken care of those issues, this pistol seems to be working a lot better. So I got some targets set up at 12 yards, and I'm gonna see if I can take these cans down, print some good hits on the target, show you that, and that'll be the end of the video. And actually, I had to actually adjust this to get this pistol to come out without my pants coming up with it, as you can see now. So it's working much better now. Again, this is my first real day shooting this pistol, so I've learned a lot, an awful lot, from shooting this pistol today. So, and again, hopefully you'll learn something too, or take something away from this video. But let me get to this shooting these cans. Ah, it's two misses. Three. Come on, come on. Let's see if I can. And I think that's it. It is. I did much better this time than my first shooting test. I'm happy with that. Let's go take a look at this target. Again, that was 12 yards. Nothing for this pistol, except the trigger kind of makes it difficult. And there's my target. But the Umarex Avera, toss that down there. There she is. Go out and get yourself ones, guys. I think you'll enjoy it. Don't blame me. Don't cuss me out for the trigger. Like I said, I guess if you use it for a while, it'll loosen up some. And yeah, go get yourself one and get out and do some target practice and enjoy yourself.